small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned or what we have stopped is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV and welcome back from that musical break. It's time for The Real. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and this morning we are looking at cyberbullying altogether, but of course connecting it to the recently concluded 16 days of activism. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of the show. Of course, I'm not talking alone. I have this conversation with John Murungi and we're having it with you. So it's pertinent that you share your 2 cents, share your opinions. And if an expert is watching, the better. It would be nice to hear your perspectives from an expert point of view. Now, civil society organizations advocating for the rights of women and girls have called on government to strengthen enforcement of laws addressing digital violence. The call was made during an engagement held in Bukesa, Kampala, organized by members of the Feminist Humanitarian Network. As Uganda concluded the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, activists were concerned about the rising abuse of women and girls on social media platforms. They warn that online harassment, non-consensual sharing of images, and cyberbullying have severe psychological effects on victims. Now, Farida Nabanja of Mpiji Women with Disabilities Associated condemned the circulation of images without consent, while Naomi Mbareba of Woneta appealed to parents to monitor children's online activity. And the activists emphasized that ending digital violence requires collective responsibility under the theme Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. Now, it's important that you remember in the concluded 16 days of activism were 25th November to 10th December. And really, these were against, as always, as every other 16 days of activism, it's against gender-based violence, either male or female, but gender-based violence. And of course, uniting global efforts to end violence against women and girls with key themes focusing on ending digital violence like online harassment and image-based abuse. Now, let's look at what cyberbullying is exactly, because digital violence definitely involves cyberbullying. One might wonder what exactly it is in definition. Cyberbullying is using digital devices like phones, computers, and tablets to harass, threaten, embarrass, or harm someone online through messages, posts, or sharing private information, making it persistent and hard to escape, and includes mean texts, spreading rumors, or posting humiliating photos or videos. Now, that being said, with that background, save the number and engage 0709-602-592. John, what are some, well, I've listed a bit of the examples, but you could elaborate more in terms of painting a picture on the examples of cyberbullying that you've seen take shape and you know are happening in the world.
Before I even delve into that, Julie, Ugandans should know that most of them participate in cyberbullying, but they do not actually know that they are doing it.
How so?
Because they think it is normal.
Right.
Or they think that is what should be done. So you find that people are being harassed online by individuals who do not acknowledge their mistakes and who do not want to be held accountable. There are so many forms of cyberbullying, like spreading rumors or false information about someone or about a company or about an entity. It can even be about a government institution. You can say you can bully it online, and also sharing embarrassing photos and videos. You know, you normally see pictures, especially from events. It could be even football matches from Nambole, whereby you find pictures online and you're like, whoever posted this, do they even have a sister? Do they even have a brother? I do not want to base cyberbullying on only the females, but it can also happen to even the males. You saw Davis here laughed sarcastically when you referred to women, and it was like, women. Okay, Davis, so we are now making you inclusive of the cyberbullying, but also having to create fake accounts.
Yes.
And you hide through an account in order to harass someone online. That is also considered as cyberbullying. Also stalking someone. It could be it can be cyberbullying. If this person is uncomfortable, they even end up blocking you.
Not it can be, it is cyberbullying. Why are you stalking me?
Exactly. If I tell you I do not want to relate with you, you keep on changing accounts, using, and even catfishing, by the way.
Yes,
is
pseudo accounts. Yes.
That is cyberbullying, and also pretense. You know, pretending to be impersonation, pretending to be who you are not. You know, these gentlemen love making face. They come into women's inboxes trying to pretend who they are not, and the preface that they put there is actually damaging to the emotions of the victim. We've seen so many cases whereby someone says, no, this is not the person. For example, online dating. This is not the person I expected or I was speaking to, because the account was a catfish. So there's so many types of cyberbullying that we need to desist from.
That's very, very true. Now, you talk about some of the examples of cyberbullying, and there's one you did mention of pictures, especially at events and videos at events. And one of the things we never take note of, especially as Ugandans, the fact that we do not love to read. I'm not so sure if many events at that also have a provision of attendees signing something to allow their footage being displayed to the rest of the world. But for some of the events I've attended, especially Christian events, some of them have that provision. At the gate as you enter, you're meant to read that your photos will be used. Do you accept? And of course, if you say yes,
yeah.
You know?
I also witnessed that at the Pro Awards.
Yes, even at the Public Relations Awards, it was. But for many, many, many events, I rarely see that provision. But even then, if it's there, how many take time to read it? And or they just sign, or they don't even read it, they just get into the event, and before they know it, they are displayed either in a tabloid, or they are appearing on TV being themselves.
Being themselves.
Yes, but at the end of the day, it's content that could probably be giving a different image of who they actually want to be seen as. So I don't know if there's a thin line there, or it's a gray line, where if it's cyberbullying,
it is,
and the law itself,
it is
applying, or the law is not doing enough.
No, it is cyberbullying, Julie, because once you publish someone's photos or videos without their consent.
Remember, there are those who consent without knowing that they are consenting.
That they are consenting.
So yes, so that's why I'm saying that there is a thin line. It's great. It's quite hard to tell, because there are those who get into events And they are very, very unaware of the fact that they've already signed an, what do they call it? That obvious, is it implicated acceptance, something like that, where you automatically sign because you're on
you actually consent.
Yes, you're consented. So by the time you're on the grounds, you are actually consenting to everything that will take shape at that event. And if your footage is out there, by law, they'll tell you that this is what our law says, this is what our provisions state, that for as long as you're here, this is the consent form that you automatically signed.
I think the organizers should be able to explain to people what they are signing, because someone might sign out of excitement, or they're already intoxicated, or they don't know what they are signing, or they even think, for me to access this venue, I must sign this first. So event organizers, all hosts must make this aware to the public. You are signing this, and it includes this and this. We are going to be this. We are going to be doing this. I worked for some company. It was Asuri, and we had to consent for them to use our photos and videos in their marketing strategies and advertising efforts. So we need to make aware to these people that you are signing this form. It is a consent form to use. You're giving us permission to use your photos, to use your videos for whichever purposes the company or the event may see deem fit. Yeah, but also, Julie, something I had left out is making threats online. That is also part of cyberbullying, and also doxing, which is spreading false stuff on someone. Actually private, not even false stuff, but private stuff. Julie, we are texting, I send you a screenshot because you want likes, you want a following, or you want to prove a point. You bring out my screenshots that you took of our conversation without me giving you permission. Right. That is cyberbullying.
Now, in case you're just joining in, and I'm going to ask John to please help me with her pen, because I've just dropped mine.
Oh, sorry. Perfect, you can have that.
I can't lift myself from this high table to pick it, but definitely will need to be taking notes as you share your opinions on 0709-602-592. We are looking at cyberbullying, especially after the recently concluded the 16 days of gender-based violence against digital abuse, online abuse of women, especially online. 0709-602-592. And by the way, do not look at this conversation as focusing on just women. Men too are abused. I mean, let's look at the simplest of examples we've so far had in Uganda, that you've also seen some of the youngsters on TikTok that have been jailed for abusing the president of Uganda, for abusing his family, you know, for abusing the first son. So that shows you that anyone is vulnerable and can be affected and can become a victim of online abuse or cyberbullying. Someone comes through and says cyberbullying is a serious issue, and in Uganda we can start by promoting digital literacy and online safety awareness, especially among young people. We also need stricter laws and policies to regulate online behavior and protect victims. We all have a role to play, that's very true, to stop cyberbullying, because it's more dangerous than AIDS and COVID-19 combined. This is Shaban Ali from Soroti City. Thank you, Shaban, for being on the show. And you have a point there. Very, very, very profound. It's true. John, quickly, let's look at some of the causes. Why is this happening, do you think?
And before we go to the causes, Julie, you know, there is a growing concern, according to the UNICEF report, that it is the young Ugandans that are mainly affected by cyberbullying. And the data shows that a third of young people have faced online abuse. Imagine young people having to face this kind of threats or this kind of humiliation or embarrassment. We are going to see the rise of suicide. Because people are going to be thrown into depression. When I talk about the effects of cyberbullying, Julie, they are just very significant, and we wouldn't want to tread that road, because we've seen so many people who decide even to just let go of social media. And this is where they were earning a living. but because someone posted their videos, that could be even intimate videos, they feel they are unworthy and decide to go into depression. The next thing you hear, these people are committed as suicide. But the law of Uganda really is trying to curb or mitigate cyberbullying because there is the Computer Misuse Act 2011, where it is computer-related crimes through cyberbullying specifies that it is still evolving, and NITAU is also having strategies that it is developing strategies that include toolkits and protecting children online and parents also within the law. By the way, people even don't know that you're not supposed to film or shoot filming someone who is below the age of 18 years. That is still a child.
Yeah, true.
That is why even for traditional media like UBC, if there is a sensitive story and involving a child, we shall blur the child. You will not be able to see the face of the child. So if you're caught having filmed a child, you are subjected to the law and is subjected to conviction if at all you are found guilty. And so when we dive into the causes of cyberbullying, there are quite many, but one I can say is the perceived anonymity. Once someone knows they can hardly be found, they don't have their identity revealed. We have masked accounts, for example, on X. Someone is posting a lot of stuff, but you don't know who they are. And we've seen situations whereby people's faces have been revealed, and they decide to go into hiding because of the content they've been publishing before, which can be termed as cyberbullying. People who hide behind the screen oftenly participate or involve themselves in cyberbullying. It also, women and girls, which I could term as gender-based cyberbullying, are the most vulnerable to cyberbullying because they feel the cyberbullies feel that they've used the internet as a tool to get to these women or girls, to intimidate them. They think women can hardly speak up. So the only way to silence them is to harass them online. Online, yes. So the gender-based inequality or the gender-based lack of equity to the women and to the girls can also cause cyberbullying. We can also talk about relationship and social issues. We have, for example, we have a lot of competition going on, especially among the Gen Zs or the millennials. We want to live fake lives. Julie is cruising in a Range Rover. How could she have gotten that Range Rover? I doubt the salary she earns can afford to give her a Range Rover in 3 years. I'm just taking an example. Yes. So they will begin spreading false information. Maybe she's doing this, she's doing that, or that is when you see people, for example, girls, are branded as prostitutes because they think society has branded them as girls are too weak to afford a Range Rover at that time. And also with the increased internet access, because of course we cannot have cyberbullying if there is no internet access. Right. Since now most of nationwide, Uganda is on the grid. It has been availed with internet. We cannot avoid cyberbullying because so many people are accessing it and they are managing it without awareness. If we do not sensitize the public on how to use the internet appropriately, because there is a difference between using the internet and appropriately using it. Right. So individuals online do not realize the severity of, causing this harassment or humiliation to a person and also to a company. Julie, PR professionals work tirelessly, to keep a brand image. So when someone comes out and tries to downplay the reputation of a company, it is really, really grave. So we need to desist. And also boredom, peer pressure. Because one TikToker decided to bully someone and maybe he did away or she did away with it, someone will also come up and like, if she had to go away with it, I can also do the same. And so the trend will just keep on going. So
that's very true.
And power and control.
That's very true. And when you talk about power and control, well, one of the things I know for sure and for a fact, it's that hurt people hurt others. And for every bully out there. It's someone dealing with an insecurity and they're projecting it on
Mm.
others. So cyberbullies, sometimes, of course, it comes from someone who has low self-esteem.
I agree.
And many times that low self-esteem leads to one seeking power and control from the wrong places. And before that, power and control is displayed on the internet by definitely bullying others and being the wrong characters and the villains on the internet. Getting into some of your comments. Thank you for the discussion. I'm Jonathan Okello from Ngora District, right in Mukura Town Council. This bullying is more dangerous than COVID-19. It has caused more harm, majorly to women. Somebody bullied some lady and she sent 1 million. Hopefully she knew it. She knew it that it was her husband. Okay, I don't know if this is your community story, Jonathan Okello, but okay, thank you for spilling some of that tea. But it's
1
sad.
million.
Indeed. It's sad at that, Jonathan. It's very sad, like you say. It's unbecoming. And somebody else, someone else says, yes, indeed, cyberbullying is such a dangerous vice. And indeed, it's worse than HIV/AIDS and COVID-19 combined. Let's look at the effects as we begin to close this conversation, Joan. Effects of cyberbullying.
There are quite a lot. Like one I mentioned, there is suicide.
Yes, mental health.
Yes, people were they will feel like their self-esteem has been lowered.
Yeah.
It is unproductive. When someone is cyberbullied, for example, at work, we can take an example of in a WhatsApp group at work. If someone feels they are bullied, they may not come up for work. And who is going to do the work this person has been doing? There is no productivity there. And also, lack of trust on the internet. Yet the internet can help us do a lot of stuff. Also, what are the leaders doing? If the leaders watch this going on and there is nothing that they are doing, definitely the citizens or the population will lose trust in the leaders. And cyberbullying also causes emotional distress.
Right.
People can be traumatized, sends people into depression, which is part of mental illnesses that can be even costly to work on or to treat. So cyberbullying has a lot of adverse effects, and it can cause the victim, whose reputation is at stake, to be downplayed, since they may not be able to stand up in workforces and also in presentations where they've been recognized as people with potential. Because Julie, take an example.
Right.
How does even someone harass the president?
Right.
What does it depict
or
to
even
people?
for those who have gone on their social media handles to just talk about the Kabaka of Uganda anyhow, or any other cultural king, out of looking for likes, out of clout chasing, out of, you know, that naivete of being young and foolish at the same time. Yet, being young and foolish does not excuse you from the repercussions of the law.
And of course, Julie, I concur with you, but we cannot also avoid the physical reactions or impact. People do get headaches. You find someone is the BP is raising. The diabetes they are either lowering or increasing. And so the physical symptoms that arise from cyberbullying are also noticeable. And also behavior change of victims. You find that someone who was outgoing is now an introvert, or they become even withdrawn or even violent because they have this frustration. Someone who used to be very calm, you find that even just a slight wrong you are doing on them, they retaliate with violence, or we can even link it to substance abuse. You find people seek comfort in drugs, alcohol. They can also maybe smoking to feel like now they are fitting in the society. For the ladies, especially, Julie, those who is, I would say, unfortunate pictures or videos have been posted. When I say unfortunate, I think the viewer, you understand in the aspect in which I'm talking about. Okay, let me talk about the nodes. It's very hard to come out of that space, Julie. I've not said it has happened to me, but I can imagine in case it is my sister or it is any relative. coming out of that shell from cyberbullying of that side. And people do use it because of anger. When breakups happen, and maybe usually the person that person was dating does not want them to go away from them, and they resort to sharing those intimate videos that they shared together. There is also social isolation. Once they find out that there was misinformation about you, people might discriminate you, even if they know it is not, because they are not aware if you did this or if whatever was said about you is true. The long-term consequences can be trauma. You could be traumatized for the rest of your life if you have been cyberbullied, and it is really having cyberbullying really has a very great impact that is negative.
That's very true.
That
is very true, Joan. And I think the other example of cyberbullying that we cannot leave out, and I believe many women have faced this, I won't lie, I've also faced this. A man randomly sharing his nudes.
Oh my
before
God.
You even ask, what's that? For me, I think that is another example of cyberbullying.
Yes.
I mean, why? Why would you
say?
Why
to be interested
in your, you know, exactly. But there are, one of the things I've come to understand is sometimes online, from my experience as a woman, but of course as a man, I haven't heard of experiences for men, but please feel free to share an experience of a man being cyberbullied in that manner. But I've had experiences
like a woman forcefully sending their intimate pictures to the man.
Yes, it's rare really, but I've at least experienced men online who probably inbox you. X or messengers, you know, with Facebook, who just randomly share and
you're like,
why? Don't know then there's Snapchat. Snapchat is a very dangerous application because it's extremely private. Extremely private, and it will even indicate your activity online, you know. And in case you read a message and probably do not respond, or you read it sidebar, it will still indicate to the other person that your message has been read and responded to. So it's very complicated, but still, this is an app where people do all manner of crazy and uncouth things on there. So really, cyberbullying is such a problem that we do have. But in case you are very insecure and you're one who's taking part in all activity on cyberbullying, knowingly or unknowingly, tell you what, you are up to pay some money. And if you're young, 1.4 million, well, it's a little money, but it might be so hard for you to raise as a young person, especially if you're not yet working. But you also stand to face up to 3 years in prison, or even face both. Pay the money and face 3 years in prison. Now let's close this conversation by also reading some of the comments that are coming through. Good morning, Uganda. I think the causes of cyberbullying could be anonymity and lack of accountability, power imbalance, desire of attention and popularity. Thanks. This is Vincent Owera. Thank you, Vincent, for being on the show. Cyberbullying is a big issue. Here are some common causes, I think. This is Jonathan Okello. Anonymity, social media drama, jealousy or insecurity, lack of empathy, revenge or retaliation. And it says that cyberbullying can be super tough. And you also share the effects, emotional issues, low self-esteem, isolation, physical symptoms, trouble concentrating, fear and anxiety. And of course, Jonathan Okello from Ngora District. Thank you very much for being on the show. We bring this to the end. Cyberbullying is wrong. It's wrong. And it speaks more of you who is
doing it. Exactly. How does even someone derive satisfaction from someone being upset or sad?
It speaks more about you. It speaks more about you. It tells more of how insecure you are,
how are these people even brought up,
how broken you are, and ultimately you need help, because at the end of the day, for every human being, there's hope for restoration, and you need that. For now, let's look forward to GMU Tourism Express. Good morning in the meantime.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Talk of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by...
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubi Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hdo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by... Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
Okay. Mwasuze mutya basebo ne banyabo. It's a good morning here on Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. Thank you for taking time to join us this morning. We are still at the Kabaka's Palace, and this time around we are also bringing you what is within the palace. This is Idi Amin's cannon, one of the remains that we kept here. You'll get to see many others, but let's get to learn the story attached to this one.
My name is Elvis Sechibu, a tourist guide with the Uganda Heritage and Tourism.